What's going on, everyone? Scott here. Welcome back to the channel. So, Michigan State basketball gets their first transfer portal commitment of the offseason with Kaleb Glenn coming over from Florida Atlantic. Previously was at Louisville as well. 6'7" junior, going to be going into next year forward for Michigan State. Will fill in just nicely, it seems like, looking at his tape, looking at some of his numbers. So we're going to talk about that. But first, before we do jump in, if you could, just hit that like and subscribe button down there. We'll have more Michigan State basketball content on the channel, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a video. All right, so Kaleb Glenn, as we said, 6'7" forward coming over from Florida Atlantic, was previously at Louisville his freshman year. So he is coming in as a junior, so 2 years of eligibility left. So his freshman year at Louisville averaged about 4 points a game, 4 rebounds, only averaged about 15 minutes a game, in his freshman campaign. And then last year at Florida Atlantic, he averaged about 13 points a game with 5 rebounds. And then he shot the ball 41% from 3, which is a big addition. Obviously, Michigan State struggled from the 3-point line this year. And then just kind of looking through some of his game logs, had 18 against Dayton in the NIT first round, 18-5 in that one. Going through some other ones, 16 against UAB, USF had 15, had 20 points against UNT. And obviously, Florida Atlantic did play Michigan State earlier this year. He had 6 points in that one, scored 22 points against FIU at the beginning of the season as well. So towards the beginning of the season, should I say. 27 back in November as well against Charleston. So a guy that can score the ball, and looking over his tape, yes, a lot of his stuff is spot up in the corner, spot up on the wing. If some action is being run in the middle or opposite side of the court, he does a good job at kind of rotating on the opposite wing corner, making himself available to knock down that open 3 or that swing pass 3, should I say even. He can, pump fake, get to the basket as well. Really athletic guy, had some really good dunks on the highlights that was watching of him, some of the tapes that we were watching of him, and can get to the basket and finish as well, but not a lot of creating like for himself. And that's what I kind of alluded to if you watched the Jace Richardson video just before this, that I think Michigan State still needs a guy that can go and score off the bounce. Kaleb Glenn definitely fills a need coming into next year, but it's not going to be the give you the ball, break you down, get to the basket, get to a shot, pull up, whatever. He's going to fill in a nice role there. And then obviously too, I know I've already seen people talking about it online, thinking about Cohen running one wing, Kaleb Glenn running the other wing. I mean, those are two athletic wings that would love, and I know Jeremy would love to see him running up the floor and, looking to distribute that thing. So I think this is a really good addition here for Michigan State. His scoring and his 3-point shooting, obviously, but I think the rebounding is something else that also, sticks out to me as well. Jaden Akins was always someone that we said, Michigan State was at their best when Jaden Akins attacked the glass, was getting 4+ rebounds a game. Kaleb Glenn last year averaged 4.8 rebounds a game. So similar thing, bringing in another wing that can go and help, Jackson Kohler, Carson Cooper, down on the blocks, rebound the basketball. Cohen Carr help as well. So we'll see. I'm assuming Kaleb comes in. I'm assuming right now this is, who knows? This is April 10th when we're recording. So, who knows how this is going to be 6 months from now in October or November when we get into this thing. But I'm assuming he's going to kind of fill like a 6th man, 7th man type role, because I believe the starting lineup will be Jeremy Fears. I believe at the 2, you got to go get a shooting guard, and we'll kind of touch on that here in a second. At the 3, it seems like they were playing a lot of Cohen Carr. He can obviously flip between 3, 4. I think Michigan State's best lineups are still going to be with Cohen at the 4, Jax at the 5. But I imagine that's how they start, and then Jax at the 4, then Coop at the 5. So I imagine Glenn coming in, being one of the first ones off the bench, probably, Kurt Tang, Kaleb Glenn, Jordan Scott, Cam Ward. Expect to get a lot of run here going into next year. So then I guess that'll kind of shovel us into what else does Michigan State need in the transfer portal, because obviously this can't and it won't be the only name that Michigan State adds this offseason, but they need a guy who can score off the bounce. We said that, we alluded to that here, we've alluded to it in other videos as well, but need someone who could score off the bounce, but also someone that can handle the ball too, because I mean, we're looking at this thing like Jeremy Fears is really the only like true point guard, left. Like, yes, Kerr can handle the ball too, but besides that, we need someone to go and distribute the ball and stuff like that. So the person that Michigan State brings in at the 2 needs to be able to distribute this thing and run the point in the non-Jeremy Fears minutes going into next year. And so that's going to be a big thing, especially with the Trey Holloman transfer going out. You don't have that backup point guard now, so that's definitely got to be something that you look at as well. If Michigan State doesn't find the starting 2 guard that they want, that can score off the bounce, dribble it, but then also when Jeremy comes out, also take that point guard range, then I think you probably gotta go with, probably slide Kerr into the starting lineup and then, search for a, backup true point guard to come in off the bench to run the second unit with maybe a backup, with a backup point guard, Kaleb Glenn, Jordan Scott, Cam Ward, then you're sliding Kurt Tang into the starting lineup there. So then, you're going down the list. You're gonna have to bring, bodies in. You're gonna have to bring bodies here next year. Jesse McCullough, I'm excited to see how he looks coming into his first year of playing next year. So yeah, there's still a lot of work to be done. Is kind of the gist of things here. This is obviously an incredible get for Michigan State, and Tom Izzo bringing Kaleb Glenn in fills a need on the wing. Shooting, can score the ball, but also get to the basket and rebound the basketball as well. So I think he'll fit right in to this roster. So now just got to continue to fill up those other spots that we talked about here. So I'm excited to see what kind of transpires here over the next couple weeks. But obviously, a big get for Michigan State here, and we'll be back if any more names come about. Obviously, a little behind. Obviously, we just posted the Jace video here, and then obviously now posting this video. So we were a little bit behind on the news cycle getting things out here. But if we hear of any news or, see any rumored news, whatever, we'll try to talk about it. But obviously for sure, if when Michigan State gets another commitment, we'll be back to talk about it. But then I also had a video recorded, a 43-minute video talking about this Michigan State basketball season, but, kind of decided to scrap it because I was also talking about in some of it and towards the end about the possibility of Jace coming back, and obviously that's not happening, so just decided to scrap it. We'll get that out again this weekend, kind of just recap the season celebratory video, but then, we're also going to get to football here eventually. We're going to dive into the spring roster and, kind of how things are looking, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss a video, but that'll do it for this one. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out.